Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chanel is pregnant, Nicole's news, EJ's vengeance moves forward. Days of Our Lives, DOOL, spoilers for Wednesday, May 1st, reveal that Chanel DiMera, Raven Bowens, will suffer testing at the sanitarium, where she learned she has radiation poisoning like Johnny DiMera. Carson Boatman, stressed. Chanel has been passing fatigue and nausea, which could indeed be the result of Paulina Price, Jackie Harry, exposing her while radioactive. Still, there's another reason for Chanel's symptoms since Days spoilers confirm she's pregnant. Whether Chanel finds out in Wednesday's show or not, Kayla Johnson, Mary Beth Evans, should discover the gestation soon enough and offer updates. Of course, the fact that Chanel has radiation poisoning while she's an expectant mama will put her future child at threat, so Chanel and Johnny will be forced to have some tough exchanges in the near future. Coming on Wednesday's DOOL occasion, Sloane Peterson Brady, Jessica Surfety, and Eric Brady, Greg Vaughn, will have another fierce sweepstakes over Plutocrat, especially since he's not entirely sure he buys her story about helping Leo Stark, Greg Ricart, get back on his bases. Latterly, Days spoilers say Nicole DiMera, Ariane Zucker, will get some shocking news when she finds out Eric will also be working at The Spectator. It looks like Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, may indeed come up with some assignments for Nicole and Eric to do as a platoon. Whatever the case, Eric and Nicole will deal with some awkwardness as they try to navigate their new jobs at the same place, so stay tuned to watch them conquer the discomfort. Other Days spoilers say EJ DiMera, Dan Feuereagle, will refuse to let Paulina get down with demeaning him and tossing pitfalls around. EJ's vengeance will move forward, so he'll decide he wants further than just a libelous composition. Since EJ will hope to launch a recall and eventually steal Paulina's spot as Salem's new mayor, that could come a better path to vengeance. With Paulina's focus on Chanel and all the guilt she's feeling for exposing her to radiation, that could give EJ a chance to make some sneaky moves that Paulina wouldn't see coming. Days of Our Lives spoilers say EJ will keep colluding, so we'll bring you prognostications on the tricks he has up his sleeve. Everett insults quack Marlena, John questions memory gaps. Days of Our Lives, DOOL, spoilers for Tuesday, April 30th, reveals that Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, stopped by Paulina Price's, Jackie Harry, office and mentioned the tip he entered about her abusing her power as well as putting the public's safety at threat. Paulina assumed the tip came from EJ DiMera, Dan Feuereagle, and sounded skeptical when Chad claimed he hadn't spoken with his family in a while. Anyhow, Paulina defended her conduct and stood her ground against Chad's questions. Since Chanel DiMera, Raven Bowens, was safe and everyone Paulina exposed was fine, she acted like that was all that signified. In the city forecourt on Tuesday's Days occasion, Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, was surprised and disappointed to see that Sweet Bits was closed. Chanel came running over to apologize since she slept through her alarm this morning, and Johnny DiMera, Carson Boatman, appeared moments laterally to explain that he sped Chanel over to the bakery in a hurry. Although Chanel offered to give Stephanie afters for her customer on the house, Stephanie said she only awaited like 2 twinkles and didn't mind paying at all. While Chanel was busy in Sweet Bits, Stephanie told Johnny that Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace, and Trip Johnson, Lucas Adams, left for Hong Kong, so Johnny was taken suddenly since Wendy Noe said farewell. Subsequently, Johnny talked to Chanel about perhaps redefining EJ's offer to work at DiMera Enterprises. It was Johnny's dream, but he felt he demanded a job, and there weren't a lot of movie-making openings there in Salem. Paulina ultimately joined Chanel and Johnny, so she complained about EJ going after her through Chad's implicit story. After Paulina asked Johnny to put in a good word for her with Chad and help her with EJ too, he said he would. As for Chanel, she suddenly sounded like she was about to ship over due to fatigue. After Chanel felt queasy next, she ran outside to throw up. Once Chanel returned, Johnny refocused out that Chanel was passing some of the radiation poisoning warning signs that Kayla Johnson, Mary Beth Evans, told them to look out for. Although Chanel wasn't thrilled about the idea of going to the sanitarium, Johnny and Paulina claimed on taking her there right down at the cantina. On Tuesday's DOL show, Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, joined Everett Lynch aka Robert Bobby Stein, Blake Barris, to ask if he'd changed his mind about Remedy. Everett verified he hadn't, so Marlena was thwarted since Everett said he was quitting Remedy and also prevaricated to Stephanie by acting like he'd continue it. Everett suggested he just didn't want to make Marlena look like a quack in front of Stephanie with all that hypnotism stuff. Marlena suggested Everett could maybe try a new therapist, but he wasn't interested. Coming on Tuesday's occasion, Stephanie stopped by the Spectator with some gifts for Chad's kitties, so that gave her a chance to speak with Everett. Although Everett was in a bad mood over the frustrating composition he was writing, Stephanie was glad it didn't have anything to do with subscribing the divorce papers. Everett assured Stephanie that he wanted nothing to do with Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu, or indeed Bobby for that matter. All Everett wanted to do was put Bobby behind him and live in the present, but Stephanie didn't understand since she allowed. Everett was making progress in Remedy. Nonetheless, Everett was adamant about just moving forward and making new recollections, hopefully with Stephanie. At one point, Chad returned and accepted the gifts for the kiddies, who were eager to see Stephanie soon. Stephanie was open to the idea when Chad suggested she could come play games with Thomas D. Mara, Carrie Christopher, and Charlotte D. Mara, Autumn Gendron, this weekend. At the Kiriakis manse on Tuesday's occasion, Maggie Kiriakis, Suzanne Rogers, told Julie Williams, Susan Seaforth Hayes, about her marriage to Constantine Meliunis, John Capellos, so Julie hoped Maggie was guarding herself financially. Maggie explained about the prenup, so Julie allowed. That was good news, and eventually expressed support since Maggie was determined to help Constantine. Chad also met up with Julie and got her side of the Smith Island story, so Julie sounded bothered over Paulina putting everyone at threat. In John Black's, Drake Hodgson, office, Constantine gave the pawn updates on the connubial agreement and wanted him to break in the Kiriakis safe to steal it. Before Constantine could finish giving the pawn orders, Marlena knocked on the door and called out to John. Constantine showed John the card again and brought him out of his programming reverie. Once a confused John opened the door to Marlena, Constantine said he was there to invite them both to his marriage to Maggie. After Constantine left, John admitted he couldn't really flash back the details of his discussion with Constantine, and this wasn't the first time that had happened. Marlena suggested perhaps John's brain was guarding him from recollections related to Constantine, but he suggested about other possibilities and sounded upset. Although John didn't know what was going on, he felt disoriented and agreed when Marlena said they should get him home. Back with Constantine, he told himself that it wasn't meant to be moment. Still, Constantine offered a vaticination about getting what he wanted coming time.